Good morning, boys and girls. I'm hoping everyone had a good day and y'all got through that storm okay last night because it was kind of icky. Today, we are continuing learning about insects, and it is Thursday, April 23rd, 2020. Who can guess what bug this is or what insect it is? Yes, it is a butterfly. And we're also learning about bees. So we're doing our double insect day today. Butterflies. Look at this cool butterfly. And bees. While I have this up, let's go ahead and count to 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. 20 big buzzing bumblebees. So with that being said, I do want to share a couple of facts with you about butterflies. Butterflies actually flap their wings 5 times per second. A butterfly is an insect and so is a bee. So they have how many legs? 6 legs. All insects have 6 legs. Also, butterflies have a head, a thorax, and an abdomen. So it has 3 body parts. Okay? Bees live in hives. They're also called colonies. And a bee will only attack if it feels threatened. What does threatened mean? It means scared, afraid. So if you see a bee, just leave it alone. Don't go after it. It will not attack you if it doesn't feel scared. Okay? So with that being said, I want to share something with you. You see the color of my wall back there? It's red, right? Bees can't see the color red. So if a bee was in my house right now, buzzing around, that bee would not be able to see the color on my wall. It will look gray. Bees cannot see the color red. So if a bee was buzzing around a red flower, it's not going to see the color of that flower. That's interesting, isn't it? So I have a cool story for you guys, which isn't really a story, but it is called My Book of Bugs. Y'all know that this teacher loves bugs, and I'm so happy to share this book with you guys. This story, or book, is all about bugs. Oh, it's so exciting. Who can tell me the part of this book that is the front? What about that? That is the bottom. And this, the top. What about this part? The back. And that's right, that is the spine. It holds the pages together. And the title of the book, which is the name, My Book of Bugs. So let's read all about bugs. There are millions of bugs all around us. Some are easy to see and others are good at hiding. They come in many different sizes, shapes, and colors. Do you know any tiny bugs? Do y'all know of any tiny bugs? Like a tick or a flea? Fleas, those little jumping ones. How about ladybugs? Those are small bugs. And there's also small bees. So there's tiny bugs around. And look, there's the butterfly. It has turquoise wings. There's lots of bugs. And look at the bee right next to the butterfly. That's funny. That's what we're learning about today. Tiny bugs, like aphids or ladybugs. The ladybug is small, but it has a yucky, nasty taste. Its bright color warns enemies to leave it alone. Aphids are as tiny as this period in this book, so they're teeny tiny itty bitty. The aphid is a baby green fly. It is tiny, but it destroys plants by sucking up their juices. So you don't want to have green flies on your plants. The house dust mite is very, very hard to see. I don't think I want to see that, honestly. It lives in houses and is carried around by the dust. So those are teeny tiny itty bitty bugs if they can be on a piece of dust, right? House dust mites are super, super, super tiny. And this is a picture of one up close. Even a bug that tiny and small looks that icky and is hairy. The tiny thrip, which is this little bug right here, has 4 wings but cannot fly very well. It likes to suck the juice from leaves. Thrips are as tiny as a little dot. The pygmy blue butterfly is the tiniest butterfly in the world. Have y'all ever seen a pygmy blue butterfly? I don't think I have. Pygmy blue butterflies are as small as your thumbnail. So if you look at my thumbnail, that is the size of a pygmy blue butterfly. Do you know any sparkling bugs? Bugs that shine and glitter and gleam in the sunlight? I think I know one. Sparkling bugs, like this beautiful one right here. Orchid flower mantids, like this little guy, are the same size as the palm of your hand. That's a big bug. The sparkling orchid flower mantid looks like the flower that it is named after. The flower chafer is shiny and brightly colored. It chews on the petals of flowers. Uranid moths are the same size as your palm. So this is a big, beautiful, colorful moth. The uranid moth is not like other moths. It has large, colorful wings and it flies during the day. Most moths are active during the night. If you're active during the night and you're awake during the night, you are nocturnal. The leaf beetle has shiny wing cases. It looks beautiful, but it destroys other plants and crops. The colorful stink bug leaves a trail of horrible smelling liquid behind it. Ugh. I'm sure you guys have smelled stink bugs and they do not smell pleasant. What about wiggly bugs? This is bugs you try to pick it up and this is wiggling and moving everywhere. The praying mantis is hard to see among leaves. It crawls very slowly, but it can move its front legs very quickly to grab food. I have seen these, and these are very, very pretty bugs. Praying mantises are as long as your foot. So if you see one of these guys, it's going to be big. Try not to be afraid of it. It's not going to hurt you any. They just eat other bugs. But millipedes, this big old creepy crawly guy, can be as long as an adult's foot. So you see one of these, it's a biggin. But again, don't be afraid of it. Just leave him alone and let him go on his way. The millipede has between 45 and 300 pairs of legs to help it wiggle along. When it feels threatened or is in danger, it crawls away or curls up into a little ball. It wants you to leave it alone. The mealworm, which is this little guy right here, is the young form of a certain beetle. It wiggles and crawls through flour and other grains. So this mealworm, later on, will metamorphosize into a beetle. Mealworms and inchworms are as long as your little finger. The inchworm looks like a twig. Its front legs wiggle forward and then its back legs catch up. I've seen the cutest little green inchworms. It looks like they're suspended in the air, but they're really hanging from a little piece of thread that they create from leaves as they crawl down. Ooh, now we are on to busy bugs. Lots and lots of busy bugs, guys. The leafcutter ant, which is him right here, spends its time cutting pieces of leaves with its strong jaws. It then carries the leaves back to its nest. The honeybee is always busy. It collects food and looks after young bees. There is always a lot to do for the honeybee. Honeybees and garden spiders are as big as a small coin. I know you might be scared if you see a honeybee or a garden spider, but try not to be. Just leave them alone. They're very good for the environment, and they really help out your garden. Leafcutter ants are as big as your thumbnail. So this little guy right here that we mentioned earlier is as big as your thumbnail. The garden spider keeps busy by building its wheel-shaped web. It catches food in the web and builds a new one every night. So webs are used to catch the meal for the garden spider, which are other bugs. Caterpillars are young forms of moths or butterflies. It spends all of its time munching on leaves so it can grow. Caterpillars can be as small as a dot or as long as your foot. So it really depends on the type of caterpillar on what size it is. And then we have our Speedy Bugs. So these bugs move very, very fast. They are speedy. Robber flies are fast flyers. It attacks slower flying bugs in the air and holds on tight. Robber flies are the same size as your eye. So those are big flies, and they catch other bugs. The cockroach, I'm not a fan of cockroaches, has long legs ideal for running very quickly. Its flat body helps it to hide in cracks in the walls and the floors. I try my best to be nice to every bug, but you guys, I can't do roaches. What about y'all? Do y'all like roaches? The bombardier beetle cannot fly, this little guy right here, but it is a very quick runner. Bombardier beetles are the same size as your fingernail. Cockroaches are as long as your finger. Yuck. The dragonfly, I like these guys, fly very quickly. It can move sharply, stop, hover, and even go backwards. So dragonflies are pretty talented. They can go forward, or they can go backwards, or they can just stop and hover in the air. And I've seen them do that. Dragonflies are big flies, and they are the same size as your hand. The tiger beetle is one of the fastest bugs. It can crawl over the ground quickly and is also a good flyer. And it's a beautiful green. How about bouncing bugs? Do y'all know any bouncing bugs? Crickets are bouncing bugs. The cricket has wings but does not always fly. Instead, its strong back legs make it a good jumper. The click beetle lies on its back and plays dead when it feels threatened. It then bends with a loud click and jumps in the air and twists over. So I've seen one of these before, or a couple, and you pick them up and they get really still because they feel like they're in danger, and then they'll jump and they click as they're jumping out of your hand so they can get away from you. Grasshoppers have very strong muscles in their back legs. It can fling itself up high in a single leap. And grasshoppers can get pretty big. So they say they're as long as your little finger, but I've seen grasshoppers that are a lot bigger than that. The flea, is a champion leaper. Its large back legs help it to jump up at about 130 times its own height. A flea can jump almost non-stop for 3 or 4 days. Like the roach, I am not a fan of a flea. Fleas spread diseases. And fleas are very tiny. They are as small as a large dot. Ooh, what about hairy bugs? Y'all know there's lots and lots of hairy bugs, like this big old spider. I know she looks scary. She's a wolf spider, but really wolf spiders are not going to cause you any harm unless you threaten them. Wolf spiders are the same size as your thumbnail, and they're hairy. It does not have a nose, ear, or a tongue, so it uses its hairs for tasting, hearing, and touching. So the hairs on this spider really are what they use for their senses, to smell, touch, and hear. And I know they look icky and yucky, but try to be nice and respect them. Please don't hurt the spider. The red velvet ant is really a wasp covered with hair. The females don't have wings, so they run around on the ground like other ants. Red velvet ants are the same size as a small coin. So this one doesn't have wings, so it's a queen. This one does have wings, so it's a male ant. Bumblebees are one of the hairiest bugs. If you see a bumblebee up close, be careful, don't hurt him. But if you see one up close, you're going to see they are so hairy. And when feeding, the pollen from the flower sticks to the hairs. So while the bumblebee is eating, drinking the nectar from the flower, the pollen from the flower sticks to the bee on its hairs. And that's why the bumblebee is such a good pollinator, because it will take the pollen from one flower over to another flower. Bumblebees are as long as your little finger. Dung flies have hairy bodies and faces. They also have strong bristles on their legs. Dung flies are the same size as your thumbnail. So if you see this little fly right here, you know, because he is so hairy, head to toe covered in hairs. And then we have our giant bugs. Look at those big old critters. Atlas moths are as big as the 2 pages in this book. So you look at this. This is the size of an atlas moth. That is a big, lovely, beautiful moth. I have never gotten to see one, but I sure would love to see one. And then we have Goliath bird eater spiders. Look at this big old critter right here. They are as big as a dinner plate. And again, I know that sounds scary and yucky and icky, but if you ever have the privilege of seeing one of these guys, please be nice. Please respect it. Don't hurt it. They are our friends. The Goliath bird spider does not spin a web, but it is the largest spider. At night, it hunts for small mammals and birds. So just think about it. This spider, big old hairy thing, is big enough to eat a small bird or a mouse. Then we have the Goliath beetle. The Goliath beetle is the heaviest and largest beetle ever. It can even fly. Imagine something that big flying around. That's going to be a lot of noise. Goliath beetles are as big as your foot. Just imagine the size of that beetle. That is the end. As you can tell, I love insects. I hope you enjoyed this story as much as I did. And now I'm going to get some activities ready for you guys. Enjoy.